Hi, I'm Christopher, CEO of Marine Harvest. We are the world's largest producer of Atlantic salmon, satisfying 1/5 of global demand. Marine Harvest harnesses nature to deliver healthy, tasty and sustainably farmed salmon to 70 markets worldwide. Our salmon are grown in freshwater in onshore fabrics before being transferred to open cages out at sea. Seawater temperature and current strength is thus extremely crucial for the growth. With an increase in new technology and competencies, production costs have historically been in control through high productivity levels. Growing demand in salmon has kept Marine Harvest and the salmon industry profitable. But we have a problem. Hi, Marine Consultants. Marine Harvest needs your help.
Yes, Mr. Christopher, we'd be more than happy to help you.
So basically, the salmon industry in Norway has reached a production level where the biological boundaries are being pushed. Continued growth to meet the rising demand and keep our leadership role in the industry is our number one priority, but growth expansion is not possible at the moment. My operating manager just sent over a video briefly detailing the salmon industry structure.
Oh yes, okay, we've received it. We'll look at it and get back to you shortly.
This is Jocelyn, Operating Manager of Marine Harvest. Over the years, we have performed evaluation of the salmon industry using the Porter's 5 forces to help us recognize threats and opportunities that may affect our profitability. The first force is the threat of new entrants. Potential entrants face high barriers to entry because of the heavy investment and sophisticated technology required to breed salmon and maintain its healthy population. Production costs such as feed and treatment drugs are rising. Furthermore, the duration to maturity is pretty long, which is at least 3 years. Also, to set up a new farming site, a new entrant has to compete to obtain a government license. Thus, threat of new entrants is a weak force. Another force is the bargaining power of consumers. Who are they? They include supermarkets, restaurants, and salmon traders from all over the world. Buyers face a very low switching cost due to the identical product offering. However, some of these buyers could be contractually bound to the company for some time and operate in a trust-based relationship. Therefore, we think that this is a weak force. With regards to the bargaining power of suppliers, we have identified our most crucial suppliers: feed suppliers, the aquaculture technology suppliers who provide cage technologies, feed systems, wellboats, sea lice treatment drugs, and finally, the supplier with the highest bargaining power, Mother Earth. As the demand for salmon heightens, salmon-producing companies are competing to expand and find new farming areas. However, ideal breeding grounds for salmon are scarce as they require specific conditions. Thus, suppliers are a strong force. Next is the threat of substitute products or services. Wild-caught salmon is the closest substitute to aquacultured salmon. These fish are caught by sole farmers with little access to export traders or supermarkets. Other nutritious fish or food containing omega-3 fats can be regarded as a substitute for salmon, though they are not close substitutes due to the unique taste of salmon. However, rising prices have caused substitutes to gain in popularity. Thus, we consider substitutes a strong force. Rivalry is high within Norway's salmon industry, with key players such as Leroy, Grieg, and Salma. Globally, the level of rivalry remains high, with dominant players concentrated in Denmark, UK, and Norway. China's recent entrance into the industry pose a new threat, as they are more cost-efficient in producing salmon. Moreover, as salmon is a commodity, there is little differentiation in the product offerings, which limits Marine Harvest's ability to adjust prices. With the scarcity of breeding areas, rivalry has only heightened in recent years. As you can see, the salmon farming industry has been transformed by the interaction of the different forces. We are unable to pinpoint a single cause to explain our company's recent sluggish performance. Christoph would like Mariner's consultants to identify our core problem and propose a recommendation. He will be heading over to your office in a week's time.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we've created the presentation on all the things that you told us, and let's just dive straight into it without any further ado.
Based on the industry's Porter's 5 forces, we have identified one critical force that demands your immediate attention: the bargaining power of suppliers. These are the top salmon producing countries, with Norway ranked first. According to the World Bank, per capita global fish consumption is estimated to be 18.2 kg in 2030, a sharp increase from 9.9 kgs in 1960. This is also equivalent to 23 million tons. However, with your current inshore farming technology, further expansion to meet the rising demand is highly challenging. Expansion has become increasingly difficult because biological and geographical boundaries have been reached. Very few coastlines are feasible for conventional salmon farming. Some of the key conditions for this is the sufficient stocking densities, presence of sheltered coastlines, level of sanities, optimal temperature range, as well as ensuring there is sufficient water flow and well-oxygenated water. As a result of the limited farming sites available, the Norwegian salmon farming industry has not experienced growth since 2012, with output stable at 1.2 billion tons the last 5 years. Experts are expecting modest growth going forward, which is insufficient to cover the growth in demand. Moreover, Marine Harvest has faced declining global market shares from 25% to 18%. Regional market share of Marine Harvest has also weakened from 53% to 32%. According to Fishery and Aquaculture Industry Research Fund, salmon farming industry will face a rapid increase in operational cost. Production costs have also increased from 18 kg in 2000 to 33 kg in 2016. The cost increase is attributed to the higher feed and treatment costs, but with the main driver being treatment costs due to biological problems. As we can see, compounding annual growth rate for treatment costs in the last 16 years is approximately 11%, significantly higher than for feed and other costs. Treatment costs alone contributes to nearly a quarter of total production costs, up from 7% in 2000. As a result of few possible farming sites, farmers exceed their existing capacity by setting up inshore cages close to each other, causing diseases such as parasites and sea lice infection to spread more quickly. In addition, due to the open nature of inshore cages, there is a high risk of fish escaping. There is also an added consideration of environmental impact on wild fish as the chemicals from inshore cages are released into the waters.
Hi, I'll be taking over from here onwards. We have come up with a solution to address your concerns. We advise you to go full force into offshore farming and dedicate much more resources to this concept. We think that the leader in the industry will be the company that first excels in the area of offshore farming. Currently, tough conditions at less sheltered and deeper waters make it difficult to utilize inshore technologies offshore due to the following factors. Firstly, the extreme currents are unfavorable to fish farming. Secondly, it is hard to anchor the large cages offshore. Thirdly, it requires sophisticated technology for monitoring purposes. And fourthly, the automated technology is needed so that it can be remotely operated. And lastly, there is a need for advanced maritime and offshore technologies. Considering these limitations faced, we believe that offshore farming is the solution. In offshore farming, fish farms are moved more than 15 kilometers offshore. The fish are placed in closed cages, which are robust enough structurally to withstand wave action. Next, these fish live in cages which are floating and flexible, overcoming the problem of needing to anchor the large cages. And thirdly, the system provides full supporting infrastructure, including monitoring technologies installed to allow surveillance of feeding process and physical environment. Fourthly, it also has technology which allows the operations of cages to be remotely controlled. And lastly, Marine Harvest can leverage on its joint venture with Deep Sea Supply PLC, which will allow them to combine their existing technology capabilities. Most importantly, offshore farming with closed cages satisfy the two main problems Marine Harvest is facing: space constraint and the spread of diseases. Offshore farming with closed cages would help to create much more space for salmon farming. This will alleviate the congestion at the inshore area. Also, as the closed cages will be further away from each other, the spread of sea lice can be better controlled. The problems of fish escaping from the cages will also be mitigated. I will now pass on my time to Shani.
For our subsequent analysis, we have set prices and growth equal to the 2016 level due to the high level of uncertainty involved. Meanwhile, we increased costs with the average annual increase in the last 16 years. We observe that it will be very important to lower treatment costs to increase profitability. If marine harvest continues to only farm inshore, EP will be reduced to roughly 16 NOK per kg produced in 2022. However, if you were to reduce treatment costs by 50%, you will be able to achieve an EB of 23 NOK per kg. On the other hand, if you were to reduce costs by 100%, you will be able to achieve an EB of 13 NOK per kg in 2022, and you will be 85% more profitable as compared to if inshore farming was used. While it is difficult to estimate output, analysts predict that offshore farming can increase output by up to 15 times. Considering the offshore areas are not explored yet, Marine Harvest could develop offshore farming technology to experience an increase in output through a larger number of offshore farming sites. The economies of scale enjoyed will further increase the EBIT per kilo we discussed earlier. Offshore farming with closed cages is regarded as a green resources. As we have demonstrated, the technology is clearly very valuable as it will allow Marine Harvest to achieve higher margins and output, while lowering costs due to economies of scale and mitigation of sea lice infection. The resource is also rare. It is not yet developed by any of the other players in the salmon farming industry. Permit licenses are also granted based on a very strict criteria and subject to intense competition. As the technology requires extensive R&D commitment, only larger players will possess the capability to develop it. It is also inimitable as it will be based on proprietary technology and is patent protected. Lastly, it is non-substitutable as no other comparable technology has been developed, and government has stopped issuing farming licenses related to inshore farming. In terms of resource-based view strategy, performance is a function of your resource portfolio and is defined as long-term dominance. Market share, growth, and profits are also critical components. With offshore farming, you will indeed achieve the chance to grow and increase your market share, subsequently becoming more profitable. Although offshore farming with closed cages is a relatively unexplored technology, we believe that developing this technology will give Marine Harvest a first mover advantage and long-term dominance in the industry. Thank you.